Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast. Yes, you're here on the Boyos podcast with myself, Alex, and my boy, Norè.
Norè, that's my name. Get it
Gotta get
right.
the name right, gotta get the name right. How you
Right.
feeling, Noah? And how do you feel about the weekend games that you've seen so far?
How do I feel? Let me have a think. Let's see. A little overworked, a lot overworked, a little underpaid. But yeah, on the all, I'm okay. The Gunners won on the weekend. I'll take that, man. It goes a long way to get me through another shift.
Good,
Yeah.
good stuff, good stuff. So we had some good games the weekend. Some good, some bad, and some very ugly. Hey, it was 2-1. It was 2-1. But anyway, we're not going to get involved. First of all, let's talk about some of the games that went the weekend. So for me, I want to talk about one in particular, just because our boy Reese is having it. If I'm having it, he's having it.
Some
4
sticky top.
0 4-0.
Yeah.
Again, Everton are in the mud. Absolutely in the mud. I don't think they've
Yeah.
signed anyone this season. Well, no one obviously
Yeah.
has made an impact. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace of a club. It's run by absolute prats. What can we say? What can we say? 4-0. That
That's
that game was that game. From what I seen of it, the game was a whitewash. To be fair, Tottenham
yeah.
dominated in the high press. They love to do. Absolutely
Mm,
bullied them at the top of the park. But tell me your thoughts on Everton. Off you
yeah.
go.
Well, for anyone not in the know, any listeners, offline listeners, uh, Tottenham Hotspur hosted Everton on the weekend at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or the Toilet Bowl, as some certain fans like to refer to it as. But I'll go there with that. Try and keep things neutral. Yeah, an Everton team that were already reeling from a 3-0 pasting at home to begin their season campaign at Goodison Park. Um, yeah, they shipped 3 goals. You got Sean Dyche, their manager, who basically clung on by well a whisker as far as Everton's Premier League survival. You'd think they would have come into the new season with a bit of vim, with a newly kind of refreshed, replenished squad, um, and just a new outlook on the season with new targets, goals, and objectives for the upcoming campaign. When you looked at their lineup, yeah, a lot of names that really had no business being there, in my opinion. The likes of, 37, 38-year-old Ashley Young starting at right back. I mean, this is a guy who carved out most of his career on the flanks, playing on the wing, left wing, right wing, attacking positions. But yeah, he's your go-to on game day, match day one. And then they obviously had to move on from the 3-0 defeat to Brighton. Sean Dyche not really making the most of some of the summer acquisitions and purchases that he'd signed this summer. Centre back situation, bit of a strange one there with
Oh yeah.
the highly regarded youth academy prospect Jared Branthwaite, excuse me. Always get those two names mixed up. Never heard of a Branthwaite before. I've heard of Braithwaite. Our mate Jason, shout out there.
Just go with
But
name.
yeah,
That's all right.
you look at their lineup and it's just I don't know what the guy's playing at, to be honest. I'm just gonna drop the act and trying to be nice, and I'm just gonna call it as I see it. Jordan Pickford, England's number one, expect him to be performing like England's number one, and in the first 2 games, Everton have shipped 7 goals. First 3, as I said, to Brighton, and then more recently against Tottenham this weekend, just gone on Saturday, they held 4-0 to a Tottenham team who started the campaign fairly mixed. Very good, decent first half against Leicester City themselves, only to then end up conceding to an ancient Jamie Vardy and not being able to see the game out for a win, and ending up drawing 1-1 with the newly promoted side. A really good look for a team with a new up and coming manager, supposedly Big Ange, and aspirations for European honours and pushing up into the top 4. Everton are just a cakewalk at the minute. I think anybody anybody seeing them coming up next on their fixture list, unfortunately, it's just licking their lips, looking to fill their boots to get their goal difference numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
And with no particular attacking threat coming from Everton's way as far as a really kind of how can I put it? A really what's the word that we'd use to describe Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the moment? Disheartened, disinterested, disillusioned.
Disinterested is what I would use. He looked so out of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just a shadow of his former self, and seemingly with no interest to get anywhere near back to the level that he was operating at when he was being linked, to the likes of an Arsenal or some of the other top 7 clubs, let's say, including Tottenham Hotspur. Really poor by Everton, and I know they had a cup win.
The biggest issue for me is the Corey's not a number 10.
Never,
for me,
never
in a million years, and he's playing at number 10. He's got no creativity whatsoever, and that doesn't help going forward. It doesn't help no one, and for me, I don't know. For me, it was just a shambles, him being number 10. I don't rate him at all. The only positive from that game on the weekend was McNeil looked all right. That was it. Absolutely, that's it. But that he looked okay. That's it.
But why are Everton relying on a kind of relegated Burnley cast off? Dwight McNeil, whose numbers were never really all that good
No.
when he played in the Premier League at the first crack. Okay, on the other flank, Jack Harrison from Leeds United. Yeah, another recruit from a relegated Leeds United team. It's really inspiring, as if for a team and a club as big as Everton that are looking to obviously push on and try and secure and cement themselves in that upper half of the table from 10 upwards, maybe I'd say.
Yeah.
Really poor, really disappointing. I know they had a good cup win last night even. I think it was a 3-0 victory, and some of their other players, some of their attacking players managed to get on the score sheet. Beto, the big Portuguese striker and what have you.
Yeah.
So, they'll hopefully look to kick on from that. But, it doesn't look good over there. And in my opinion, Sean Dyche needs to see himself out. If not, then Everton need to get him out, and they need to push him and move him on and kind of transition themselves back into a club that's, basically an established Premier League team, as they've always known to be.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Sean Dyche just reminds me of a Big Sam. He goes in, keeps the club up, and then you just remove him. Well, you're meant to remove him to get someone who's a bit more progressive for the team. And as you can see, he's not really doing anything at all, is he? If anything, I think he's taking one step back more than one step forward.
A couple of steps back, yeah. They shouldn't be flirting with relegation and back-to-back seasons.
No.
Not a club of that. And you see some of the post-match press conferences. You're looking at them. You know that his team has just shipped 7 over 2 games. They've scored none in 2 games as well. And some of the stuff he's coming out with is just mind-boggling. I'm sure. I know it's infuriated fans. Some of the ones I've spoken to, shout out Reese. Some of the ones that I've seen online as well. Yeah, they're not happy, but I think it's past the point of anger now. They're just miserable. They're miserable. They know what they are. And they know they're in a bit of a rut, and there's no real kind of immediate way out of it, unfortunately, for them, unless they buck up their ideas. And in my opinion, get rid of that manager and replace him with something completely different.
Yeah, 100%. But I just want to touch upon this very quickly, because I do think it's a big issue within Spurs' side, is the striking options they've got. They've got very good creative wingers. You cannot deny that with Son. I know it's hard for an Arsenal fan to say that. But,
no, he's class.
But Johnson for the middle is not a striker. He's not. Personally, I think he's more of a winger, and he played up front. And I do think he didn't have a very good game personally in a very good dominant size Spurs side the weekend. Do you see that's going to be an issue for them going forward?
Yeah, a guy like him, Brennan Johnson, Welsh international, 50 million they paid for him from Nottingham Forest. He looked like a real diamond in the rough when he played at Forest, but at Spurs, I think he's flat to deceive, to say the least. Very quick, very nimble, very agile, but just lacking that cutting edge needed to get more final product out of his game. I think Tottenham's problem, in my opinion, is going to be to shake that Spursy tag that they have, where they're known for just being kind of nearly club, also, and just out, not good enough to break into the top four and stay in the top four, but a little bit too good to fall outside of the top
8,
7, 8, give or take. Yeah. Again,
I can agree with that. But they have made a very good signing in Solanke, I think, personally.
Yeah. I mean, last season for Bournemouth, in a Bournemouth team like that, not really with an abundance of service or creativity, they managed to get 19 Premier League goals. But very impressive. But I think 65 million for him is a little over the top. I think if you take 20 million off of that, I think that's a more reasonable price. So yeah, a little bit of an overpayment there, and the old English tax kicking in as it normally does.
The typical English tax, overhyping players as per usual.
And what's funny as well, if you look at the situation with them, they sold Harry Kane for about 100 million euros. They brought in Solanke for 65 of that. Okay, Solanke isn't a sixth of what Harry Kane is. So to spend that much on a replacement, the mind just boggles.
To be fair, Tottenham are normally pretty good at business as well, so this kind of has surprised me a little bit as well. So personally, I can see
it's a lot for somebody that was operating at that level. Bournemouth,
Yeah.
It's not like he was scoring Champions League goals and international goals. I mean, when England needed strikers to call upon, he was nowhere to be seen. He was nowhere to be seen. I think he's, if you look at it, maybe 10th in the pecking order after Kane, after Watkins, after Tony, after just numerous others. Yeah, not get a call up in an England team like that could have really done with some alternative attacking, especially striking options. I think it says a lot. Not to put him down or anything, he's very capable, obviously, but I think for Tottenham to go to that next level, they need that next level kind of player, especially in the strike.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we've kind of touched upon everything today within that game, but I think the biggest issue for that is I'm worried about Everton. I think it's going to be a record low points for them this season.
Looking good.
Looking now, we've got 2 more days left of the transfer window. I can't see them bringing anybody in to make that much of a difference to their squad. They're gonna be able to stay up personally, and I'm sorry for all Everton fans, but I can't see you staying up this season, unfortunately.
It's funny because even the money that they have spent on that Jake O'Brien, who's like a 6'5" centre back from Lyon in France. I think they got a Scandinavian midfielder as well, whose name escapes me at the minute, and a couple of others. They're not being blooded into the lineup.
No.
Ilman Ndiaye as well. It was really impressive for Sheffield United before he moved to Marseille. He was the star number 10 player. They brought him in, but he barely gets a sniff. It's not looking good.
It's not. So, talk about not looking good. We're going to move on to now, but you're going to see, look at him smiling already. He knows exactly what it's going to be. Let's talk on to United Brighton. We're going to be very, very quick on this. If we can, please, I beg you, be very quick.
How long have you got?
Very quick.
Wow.
United.
Where do we go from here?
Well, I'm going to start off with saying Ten Hag. He's dug his own grave that game 100%. There's no way you start the game knowing you want to play a high line. You want to do all this. You brought in the players to do that, and then don't start them. You've got your best left winger on the bench. You've arguably got your best centre back pairing not playing. Where's De Ligt? Why is he not playing? He's got to be better than Maguire. Number one, he turns faster. He played a high line. He knows how to play a high line. And he's played with Martinez before. For me, it's a big, big issue on Ten Hag's selection. His subs in the game were absolutely horrific. Why would you take off your creative player? The only creative player you have is a number 10, by the way, because they were both starting, because that's another dull move from himself. Let's spend 100 million on 2 strikers and not play one of them. Fantastic. Well done, Ten Hag. So you play a false 9 with a Mason Mount that's, let's be honest now, is not been great, has he? Let's be honest, he's probably one of the biggest flops that United have probably bought in recent times so
That's
far.
quite a list there, by the way.
Oh,
Bit of
yeah, but
competition for that.
he's up there. He's up there for one of them. And
It's been a season and 2 game weeks. So,
but let's be honest now, he hasn't produced. He's got the number 7 shirt. He's demanded the number 7 shirt and hasn't produced. That's it. You don't demand the number 7 shirt and not produce. But anyway, let me just finish what I'm going to say, and then you can have your little bit then. For me, you can't start off with your 2 number 10s on the pitch and then take them both off for a Scott McTominay who's now left. What's he thinking? What's going through his skull?
Not sure that's quite confirmed with McMahon.
He's gone. It's confirmed. It's done.
I'll have to double check that, but
it's done. Fabrizio's confirmed it. Deal done. All sorted. When Fabrizio says it, it's done. Okay.
Not for me. Not anymore.
Ah, here we go. But yeah, for me, there was a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues, and he has gone because he's over there taking a medical today or yesterday.
When I see the guy with the shirt like that held and the man next to him and the smile, that's when it's a done deal for me. So
the only person smiling will be me. That's for sure.
And countless others, no doubt. Yeah, good servant he was, but yeah.
All passion, no skill, but all passion. Brilliant.
You should be used to that. That's kind of what United were under Fergie, really. It was 4-4-2. It was 2 wingers crossing balls into 2 strikers and waiting for one of them to nod one in the net.
We weren't playing no one special though back then, were we? Let's be honest now. So
you had some good guys. You had some decent players, but yeah. The early 12:30 kickoff. You lot went to the Amex Stadium, the American Express, Brighton, Seaside, Seagulls, chips, fish, mushy peas, all that business, tartar sauce, and you come a cropper and end up getting.
I called it out. The player to watch scored. Just saying.
Yeah, a great game to watch for the neutral. All the rival fans, even. To be fair, I'll be fair to United. They played pretty well. They were quite competitive with a bit of bite in the midfield in the first half. They were quite potent in the attack when it came to attacking from the flanks, the likes of Amad Diallo especially, cutting in a couple of times. One goal, I think, ruled out for offside. I know you had the other one as well with Garnacho and Xerxes. That was beyond comical, man. One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's unlucky, isn't it? It is unlucky.
Unlucky, of course. And on another day, you'd be going away with a 2-1 or a 2-2 draw there. But I think it's just typical of Man United in the way that they are.
But bear in mind, that same fixture a couple of years ago, we were getting battered.
Yeah, 4. I watched that.
I knew you'd remember it.
Like yesterday, like it happened yesterday.
You're probably rewatching it every night. Don't lie to us.
To be fair, home and away, I think Brighton have got your number. And it's crazy because they've just appointed a 31-year-old manager who's barely had any time to bed in his playing style and philosophy and his new signings. And he looks like he's got a firmer grip on the kind of ideas that he wants to implement more than a guy in the hot seat, Ten Hag, who's had 2 seasons and this is coming up 3 seasons now, 600 million plus spent, and the levels of improvement are marginal in my opinion. I don't know why any United fans were expecting anything more, anything different from what they've been getting served up by this Dutch fraud. Let me.
Come on, be nice now. Come on now. He's won 2 trophies, 2 more than you lot in 2 years.
Yeah, I'll maintain some decorum and take that back. But yeah, on the whole, you are in a very similar position to Everton, where the managers hit the ceiling, and if you don't get rid and swap and change and move on, then you're going to be stuck and bogged in this mire for the longest time now.
That's why Van Nistelrooy's there, no?
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. There's no way that a number 1 manager, as in the actual manager of another club, a big club in PSV as well, comes to sit on the bench, warm the seat, while another actual manager is sat on top of him in the pecking order. He's there, and Ten Hag basically, in my opinion, he's just minding it for him. He's minding it until the results get too much and he gets sacked off, and then they'll instate Ruud as the main guy, a guy who knows United inside and out, unlike no other. And I think from that point on, you might see something different because Ruud, Van Nistelrooy's PSV, Eindhoven teams. I know we faced them in the Champions League twice. Last season, they gave us really good games. They had a record in the Eredivisie that was just unbelievable. At the time that we faced them as well, we managed to put them to the sword and then draw with them away in what was a tough game where they tested us and caused us problems. Yeah, this is like a babysitter type situation. Ten Hag's being babysat, and Ruud van Nistelrooy is the babysitter. So, time will tell, but it looks to be a miserable time for you lot unless changes are made. Quite similar to Everton.
Yes, I agree. In a way, but very different stages compared to us, but we both need the same thing, new managers. Personally, I didn't want Ten Hag to stay on, but then again, I didn't want Southgate, so it was kind of, what do you pick?
Lose.
It was
lose. This L or that one.
Exactly, they're both the same, and it's terrible. But we're gonna move on. I do want to kind of skip straight to the Chelsea game, if that's all right. I want to skip straight there, and then we'll finish off on the Arsenal game end because I want to have a little touch upon that because they're looking good. But first of all, I want to skip to the Chelsea game.
Cool.
We had a bit of a debate about their transfer policies, should we say, and everything about their transfer issues. We had a little chat about that. 6-2. Who's going to question their transfer policy now? We got this geezer dropping 3, who's absolute shambles last season, comes in like a different player. What's going on? To be honest with you, it reminds me of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, okay? And bear with me with this now, because I can see your face turning already.
Go on.
His motto was, if you're scoring 2, we're going to score 4.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And that's what it seems like they're going out to do. We're just going to go out, score, outscore you. If we can't do that, then we're going to lose the game. But we are just going to outscore you. That's the only way we're going to win. And that's what it seems like they're going to do.
I don't mind that. It was the right thing, though, wasn't it? Chelsea taking the lead, I think, in like a record time of, 90 seconds or something, Nicholas Jackson. And then Wolves, not deterred by that, they hit back immediately. Excuse me, I forgot the striker's name for Wolves. Mateus Cunha, the Brazilian. He was a chief tormentor last time, home and away against Chelsea. Got them back on par. Chelsea come back 2-1. Wolves hit back 2-2, and then from there, Chelsea just decided to just turn up the level a notch, just let the ballers just ball out, and before you know it, the game finished 6-2. But you know what? In that first half, it was so back and forth. Honestly, the amount of chances that Wolves were carving open and creating for themselves.
Wolves have always done that, haven't they? To be fair,
Wolves could have been 6 up themselves.
Yeah.
But let's not overlook that. I know obviously you didn't fully watch the game. I had it on in the background. It was a lovely Sunday afternoon. Sun was out, breeze was flowing, and Premier League football was on. And it was definitely the match of the weekend.
The stats kind of back you up as well, because it says big chances in the game, 5 each. To be fair, when you put it into perspective, there wasn't that much difference. You know what I mean? Shots on target, 4-8. That was the only big difference in the game. Everything else is pretty even, to be fair. And the stats kind of back you up in what you're saying in terms of the game was a bit of a.
This game could have finished 6-6. It really could have. I think Wolves they were really unlucky when it comes to some of the chances that they made. Chelsea just took theirs in the second half. Obviously, they've got that star-studded squad as well. Guys like Pedro Neto, Joao Felix coming off the bench. It's a bit of a joke. If Enzo Maresca can kind of form a solid basis there, and then let the attacking players just go and do what they need to do, then you'll see crazy scorelines like this quite frequently from Stamford Bridge. Noni Madueke, hat-trick, shout out to him, player I really like. love his way and his style of dribbling.
Mm-hmm.
The funny little narrative there. Obviously, he sent that an Instagram post that I think it was intended for a friend. He was looking around the place in Wolves, and I've been there myself.
Oh, yeah,
All
I think I've seen this.
fans are giving it to him all game long, and what's he do? He goes and slaps a hat trick against them.
Shuts him up for a little bit. Well,
respond really. Then with a bit of a half-assed apology in the post-match interview as well. I think that said it all really. Wolves is a can I call it a dump? Yeah, I mean they were welcoming, but yeah, I was left depressed and pretty miserable walking around the town centre. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, you've got a great team, so I'd swap. Would I swap living in Cardiff for Wolverhampton's team and City?
probably not.
Don't think so. They got a.
I wouldn't
No.
personally.
No.
One question
They'll
for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kepa, their biggest goalkeeper signing, has now been loaned out to Bournemouth. Thoughts? And is this a right move for him? But also, is he really a top 6 keeper? Or top 8 team keeper?
I think if you're being picked up by Real Madrid, whether it's first choice, the backup, or the third choice, then obviously you have to have some sort of credentials and some sort of ability and talent about you.
Not because he's
not
Spanish?
There's that. The familiarity with the league, obviously, over there, but obviously, as you saw before you know it, that Ukrainian that they've got, that keeper, Lunin, was drafted in after a couple of games with Kepa, even though Courtois was out with the cruciate injury. They obviously didn't take up the offer to keep him permanently. Chelsea, in spite of all the goalkeepers they've got on their books, which I think is up to maybe 9 or 10 now, they still couldn't find a place for him, and he's obviously gone to Bournemouth now, which is I think is a club that's on the up. Iraola, their manager, he's got them playing some good stuff, and I think that'll be a good confidence booster for him for a secure, steady Premier League team.
I agree. And talking about secure, steady Premier League teams, the mighty Arsenal, as you would call him, I would call him something else, but we're not going to go into that. Against Aston Villa, I thought this was going to be I thought Aston Villa were actually going to give you a bit more of a game, should we say, if I'm honest with you, in terms of scoreline. But I think it's more credit to you as Arsenal than anything else of how you played and how you dominated the game and took control of the game.
Yeah.
Give us your lowdown.
5:30 kickoff, the late afternoon game. Traveling to Villa Park, not an easy place to go.
No.
As we've seen in recent seasons where, they beat us twice, home and away last season. Ironically, we ended up playing better in both of those games than this particular one. And obviously, we managed to run out 2-0 winners this time around. I think a really cagey first 45 to maybe 60 minutes where, they sat off us. They let us keep a lot of the ball, move it around that back four, left to right. Thomas Partey picking it up in the middle, trying to dictate. But quite a cagey affair. Villa with a kind of mid kind of press where they would press, but then tuck back into shape when the ball would move away from them again. And eventually we broke the deadlock. I've got to add the couple of hairy moments that we had where Ollie Watkins missed the mother of all sitters. Gabriel found wanting at the back, a bit lax on the ball, a bit dependent on the referee to kind of give him a foul for kind of getting bungled over and caught in possession. What's his name? Morgan Rogers was having an absolute barnstormer of a game. What a signing that guy is, by the way. Picks it up, he squares it to Watkins, and he misses what's practically an open net. I know Raya was in the middle of the goal, but a guy like Watkins with his credentials, you expect him to tuck that. If he scores that goal, then it's a completely different game. Another crazy moment where David Raya was he was called into action. I think a deflected kind of attempt on goal again from Rogers or Onana. It might have been Onana. Was going backpedaling, about to tip it onto the crossbar. Comes off the crossbar, and it lands right in the path of Watkins again, and with a diving header, what does he do? He heads it directly at David Raya, who springs right back up, gets a nice firm. Yeah, one of the best saves I've ever seen. You really need to go and watch that David Raya save. It was
when I
incredible.
seen that, and I was like, oh, my keeper. You got to say, I've always been a backing of him. You know what I mean?
Show.
And I've always liked him. I wish United got him because we had an option to sign him, and instead we went for Onana. So that says a lot, really. But there we go.
Yeah,
he is a real asset for you because he gives you everything you need from the back.
Excellent. That's the second game in a row where we've had a couple of world-class saves from him. So fair play. Yeah, I wasn't really all that enamored when he came through the door initially. I thought we had all that we needed in goal with Aaron Ramsdale, but yeah, I think Mikel Arteta has been justified in making that deal permanent this season, and firmly establishing him as our number one. I love the way that we got into the game and opened the deadlock though. Odegaard, lovely ball. It looked like he was kind of trickling away and out for a goal kick. But ever dependable Saka, he just doesn't give up on those kind of things. Always plays the percentages, manages to keep it in by a whisker. Lovely little cutback, almost kind of like a P roller across the box. Couple of nicks and deflections, and Leandro Trossard, who came on with practically his first touch. He starts it past Emi Martinez to break the deadlock. And,
hey, look, I've always said to you, I think you should be starting. I've always said it. I love that kid so much. I do. I think he's a better player than Martinelli, personally. But hey, there we go. What do I know?
The thing is with these things, right? You've got to kind of look at the game that you're about to take part in as a game of chess instead of checkers. If you want to compare technically, yeah, he is a little craftier and a little more nuanced in his play than Martinelli is, who's more of a direct kick rush kind of winger. However, if you peel back the layers on it, I mean, Martinelli tied out the fullback for 60, 65 odd minutes before Trossard managed to get on and kind of have the impact against him that he had against what you'd think would be tired legs. He ended up running the show. He was causing havoc in there. A couple of dangerous cutbacks as well. The second of which led to our second goal. Again, another lovely Bukayo Saka assist where Thomas Partey managed to kind of curl one around the Aston Villa defence, and Emi Martinez, he got a palm to it, but it just wasn't strong enough.
I think he could have done a lot better with that save, personally.
Yeah. And it's funny because when Saka had an attempt on the other side of the post, Martinez is right, that looked like it was destined to go in. Emi got a real strong hand to that,
it's obviously his weaker side, obviously.
Get that away, yeah. It was the same side. I think he got caught out when we beat them there 4-2 in a couple of seasons ago. In obviously different circumstances, but yeah, it just seems to be another Arsenal win at Villa Park, another Martinez mistake. Is he still an Arsenal fan? Who knows?
He's definitely an Arsenal fan. We all know that. But the one biggest, I like my stats. You know that. The one biggest stat that stuck out for me was expected goals. Arsenal 0.87, Villa 1.28, and I think that's a big reflection on maybe their strikers just not being at it yet. Watkins didn't look quite at it. Do you know what I mean? The sharpness you need compared to last season then for him.
Yeah, he'll be back up and running in no time. You got to remember he took part in the Euros all the way up to the final. Obviously, the holiday that most players are afforded and don't make the final, he didn't get. Obviously, he's got to get back up to speed with the Villa and their new signings and new tactics and ideas that the coach wants to implement. And it's going to be a bit of a delayed start. So that kind of goes without saying. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Every now and again, a top-class striker will miss an easy chance, and it'll end up costing his team. Just one of those things.
It is just one of those things. It is. But
on the whole, I think Villa can be quite excited about the upcoming season and the Champions League campaign ahead. They've added a lot of names and personnels to their squad, and Unai Emery's got a lot to cook with in that kitchen. So good for him, good for them, and we won 2-0 and 3 points.
Exactly. Is there anything else you want to talk about that weekend games fixtures? Is there any games that you
I
want to discuss about?
I think we have to give a special mention to both Man City and to Liverpool. We have to. Um,
I was trying
Man
to avoid them. I'm not going to lie, especially City.
City,
But there we
I
go.
know. Yeah, they ran out 4-1 winners against newly promoted Ipswich. They actually went behind early doors to an early goal where yeah, it looked like the ball was trickling in the net, just begging to be cleared off the line. And yeah, they just City just got to a point where it was like, okay, fuck this, no more messing around. And they just put 4 on them. Erling Haaland hat trick. I think if you look at the numbers now that he's got, said to be scoring a hat trick every 10 games.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
When have you seen numbers like that?
I don't. We
Um,
haven't in the Premier League. We haven't.
yeah, yeah. Guys like Savinho, guys like Doku. Um, yeah, it's going to take a lot to stop them again. I know Arsenal got them in a couple of weeks' time, and that'll be a really interesting clash to see. But yeah, I think you'd have to admit that they are the favourites for the 5P.
And the thing for them is they've got world class players on the bench who can replace any player on that team and fit in seamlessly like they've been playing that
Yeah,
forever. You know what I mean? Especially with obviously we touched upon it before. We're going to go and come back. Coming into that team, he looked like he didn't even leave when he came on that pitch. I know it was only against Ipswich. I know, and we can only say it's only Ipswich, but I think a little bit credit has to be given to Ipswich. They did give it a go, badly, but they did give it a go.
honestly, I'm at a point now where I feel like because the system that Pep has got, the system and the tactics behind it that Pep Guardiola has installed and implemented are so drilled, so well drilled. I think he can bring in any name really, and as long as they're down with the program, they'll just move like a fluid machine, and yeah, City will get to where they need to get to.
Mm.
Yeah, they'll be challengers again, if not favourites. And I also wanted to make a special shout out to Liverpool as well,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people have written them off, dismissed them.
Whoa. You wrote them off. I got evidence. I saw on video. You wrote them off. I
The
said
thing,
they're up there.
the
They're
thing
up
is,
there.
when you lose a top class manager like Jurgen Klopp, and you bring in like a relative unknown like Arne Slot, and no real new significant signings of note, and you're selling players, it's hard to kind of back them. But I've seen
Mm.
them in pre-season against our lot, Arsenal, against your lot, Man United. They beat us both quite handsomely as well, I'd say. And the way that they performed against Brentford in that second half, yeah, it was rampant. Absolutely.
Can I just say one thing? I think Luis Diaz is probably one of the best counter-attacking forwards you'll see in the Premier League at this current time.
Ball to break the deadlock, beautiful. If you get a chance, guys, go and watch that again. The first goal for Liverpool against Brentford, brilliant finish, excellent. Salah with the second as well. But what I loved about Liverpool's performance was that even after getting the first goal, they just came back again and again and again. The attacks, they were just so continuous. And it was kind of reminiscent of the way that Klopp used to have his side
Yeah.
out there, basically, just in that rampant, aggressive, score as many goals as you can. Got 2, get 3, got 3, get 4, got 4, get 5. It felt like that all over again. I know you all not travel there on the weekend. No, you don't. They come to you at Old Trafford, don't they? And yeah, that'll be a game and a half, that's for sure. Funnily enough, you
I'm
always
not
seem to
looking
kind of
forward to that, funny enough.
no, but you did get them in the cup last season. You did manage to turn it around.
That was a decline on their half. I think that was a
Yeah,
the
you still got to
manager's
score.
going, who cares kind of thing.
You still got to score the goals.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna put my. I'm not gonna put a bet on them to win. That's for sure. Not with the way that Liverpool are going at the moment. But there we go. That's it for this episode. We are going to be recording another one very soon, so make sure you got your notifications on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. No, tell him. What do they need to do?
Yeah, do what the fat man says. Like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. Do you know? I find it so cringy when I'm now saying that after like watching all these other guys, and they just used to them saying it. It's just such a cliche thing. Can we not say like Put different slant on it. Share, subscribe, and like. How about that?
You want to
Yeah, do
change
that.
it all? Changing the YouTube algorithm.
Do that one. Share, like, and subscribe, please.
Share,
Yeah.
like, and subscribe. There we go.
And this,
In that order.
another thing as well. Just so that it's known, the feedback of the first podcast is always much appreciated. The comment section, when I see people in the street and what have you, some bits and pieces with the audio that a lot of you were really impressed with. So we're using different microphones today. Hopefully you get a better quality version of the pod this time around. And any improvements that can be made, please send them, add them in. And we'll be receptive to them as best we can.
Definitely, but it will all take time, guys, as well. We are new, we are learning as we go along. But no, Noradine is right. Get it out there. We will take it on. And we will have the feedback well. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Much love. Peace.